Have you ever wondered what happens after someone is released from prison, but they are still under supervision by the state? It is a critical period where second chances are carefully managed. When parole is violated, it typically means the individual has failed to follow one or more conditions set by the parole board. This can lead to serious consequences, most often a return to incarceration. The system is designed to ensure both public safety and a structured path for individuals to re-enter society successfully. Parole is not a right, but a privilege granted to individuals who have served a portion of their prison sentence. It involves releasing them into the community under strict supervision and specific rules. These conditions are carefully tailored to each individual and might include requirements like regularly reporting to a parole officer, maintaining employment, avoiding specific people or places, refraining from drug or alcohol use, and sometimes even attending counseling or treatment programs. The parole board sets these conditions with two main goals in mind: protecting the public and helping the individual successfully reintegrate. Failing to meet these expectations directly undermines the trust placed in the parole and the system's ability to monitor their progress. Violations can be categorized into two main types. First are technical violations, which involve breaking one of the set conditions, such as missing a meeting with a parole officer, failing a drug test, or traveling outside approved areas without permission. The second, more serious type, is committing a new crime while on parole. This clearly demonstrates a failure to adhere to the fundamental expectations of conditional releases. Each type of violation is taken seriously because it indicates a deviation from the agreed-upon path to rehabilitation and community safety. When a parole officer suspects a violation, they will typically investigate and then report it to the parole board. Depending on the severity, the parolee might be issued a warning, have stricter conditions imposed, or be arrested. If arrested, the parolee is usually held without bail pending a parole revocation hearing. This hearing is a crucial step where the parole board or a designated hearing officer reviews the evidence presented by the parole officer. The parolee also has an opportunity to present their side, explain the circumstances, and even call witnesses. It is a formal process designed to determine if a violation occurred and what the appropriate response should be. During the parole revocation hearing, the parolee has certain due process rights. These include the right to notice of the alleged violations, the right to present evidence and witnesses, and often the right to legal representation. After considering all the facts, the board makes a decision. The outcomes can vary widely. They might reinstate parole with modified conditions, perhaps requiring more frequent check-ins or specific treatment programs. However, for serious or repeated violations, especially those involving new criminal charges, the board can revoke parole entirely, sending the individual back to prison to serve the remainder of their original sentence. It is important to understand that parole differs significantly from probation. While both involve supervision in the community, parole occurs after a period of incarceration, essentially serving as the final phase of a prison sentence. Probation, on the other hand, is typically a direct sentence imposed by a court instead of incarceration, though it can sometimes follow a short jail term. Both systems aim to supervise individuals, but their origins and the conditions attached often reflected these distinct phases of the justice process. Navigating these systems successfully is key to avoiding further involvement with the law. Ultimately, successful parole is a careful balance between accountability and opportunity. For individuals on parole, understanding and strictly adhering to every condition is paramount. It is the clearest path to maintaining freedom and building a stable life after incarceration. For those observing the system, recognizing the complexities of parole violations highlights the continuous effort required for both individuals and the justice system to achieve true community safety and successful reintegration.